Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. I'm outside today. Why am I outside today? I've had a few questions about how and if you should open up a retail tennis store. So I'm going to actually go over how to do it, what needs to be done, and the fine points of what needs to be done to open up a tennis shop. All right, so we're going to head into the store today and get started. I've already kind of come up with my little cheat sheet here as to bullet points for what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, as you can see, number one is location or online. So I had a viewer from Chile comment and ask me if they should open up a physical store like this one or an online store. So for my friend in Chile, if opening up a store and physically being in the store or having somebody man the store is not a problem for you, do that. But if you have other things in mind that you want to do on top of being in the store, like if you're teaching, or if you actually have a job that's not in tennis, then I would say online would definitely be the way to go, because it's virtual, right? Orders come in, you might have to answer a question here or there via email, or they'll call you, right? So you can kind of get to those almost at your leisure, but play it by ear. Like, what's the competition out in Chile? Is there competition out in Chile? If there's one other person, check if there is a demand for a second store or a second online store. Out here in the States, there's a lot of competition, especially on the online sites. So everybody's competing for the same customer. Now, another viewer named Amber. So Amber emailed me, and the email says, "Hello, my name is Amber. I have recently started following your channel and enjoying every moment of it. I wanted to know, with the store, are there any tips or things you wish you knew before having a business that's so specialized? A little background on why I'm asking is I have had a love of tennis and played on and off since I was a kid. I've always thought about having a business geared towards tennis, but never knew where to start. I've recently gotten to the point where I could potentially start a small racket stringing and hopefully modifying tennis rackets. It is a very new endeavor, and I'm not sure where to go or how to start. Would love any tips or wisdom you may be able to impart." Thanks for the email, Amber, and thanks for watching the channel. Amber, look at these few things. Now, my number one is location, and you're gonna obviously be a physical store like this one. Now, people say location, right? Location is important. It's not so much in a tennis shop environment, because people actually seek you out because they need the services. They need the string rackets, they need the re-grip, they need tennis shoes, they need tennis rackets, and they need them kind of now, right? It's not about, oh, how long will the online guys get it to me? Well, it used to be a day or two, but I've seen recently that if you want a racket strung by them, if you buy a new one and you need it strung, it's up to 7 days now. So that makes it real competitive with the physical stores now, because we can knock it out in a day. Sometimes we could do it same day, right? So that's to your advantage. And location, isn't that important? I mean, if you want to be in, the higher end strip mall, kind of like where we are, you're paying for that. Okay, we have there's security out there, there's cleaning crews out there that's constantly taking out the garbage and cleaning the floor, but you pay for all that. So one of my suggestions is something that if I could redo this again, I would have actually looked for commercial real estate and see if I could afford to purchase a store, a physical store, and pay a mortgage on that to see if I could, eventually own that place. We've been in business here, I want to say 14, 15 years now, and rent's not cheap, right? I mean, for what we've paid, another 15 years of this, we could have owned the place that we're renting, right? So take that into consideration when you're opening up your store. But I mean, the whole process is, do your research, but you don't have to get prime real estate. Walk through traffic, walk around traffic, walk through traffic is not your major, is not going to be a major part of your business. You will get people in here, buying balls, maybe getting a grip, once in a while getting a racket. But you think of yourself as a destination. People will sought you out because they need the service, they need the racket, they need the stringing, okay? So location, not so important, in my opinion. But if rent's cheap and you can get prime location, definitely do that, okay? Now, second is time. Like, how much time do you want to devote to the store? If you're gonna open up a store like, a smaller pro shop, specialty tennis store, I mean, the more time you can dedicate to it, the better, because no one's gonna care about your business more than you. Like, I've had, kids work here, and, through the summer, and college students work here. I mean, they've all been good. They're not you, right? They're not me. So, like I said, no one's gonna be better than you because you care about your place, and spending time there is super important to the success of your business. So I spend a ton of time in the tennis shop here. I take it home with me. It's homework to me. When somebody asks me to customize a racket, I mean, that's gonna take me an hour or two and I can't do it here because the phone rings, people come in, I just keep getting disturbed. So sometimes I'd rather just take it home and do it quietly there. So it's kind of like the time that you have to dedicate to your success. So yeah, time is important. So number 3 is people, right? Your most important person, again, is going to be you, okay? Make sure you hire people that are competent, hopefully knows tennis. The number 1 hiring criteria for me is that you know how to string a tennis racket. I've taught probably over 100 people how to string a tennis racket. And the average time for a new person to string their first racket is anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours for that first racket. It gets better over time. You get faster over time. But you have to kind of take that into consideration if you are learning from scratch or teaching somebody from scratch. The fastest person that I ever taught that pretty much got it immediately, kid from Cal, His name was Elliot. Elliot, if you're watching me, you were the best. You learned real quick, but you understood the concept though. You understood the weaving, you understood how a racket was supposed to be done. Therefore, all you had to do is get your fingers in order, get the clamping down and get the tension down. But Elliot was the fastest I ever taught. He pretty much did his first racket in 45 minutes and then proceeded to do it faster from then on. And I even asked him, I was like, how did you get this so quickly? He's like, I pretty much watched you, I listened, and I did it, you know, because I kind of knew the weaving, I kind of knew how it was supposed to be done. So nobody else out there, you know, kind of gets a clue. So Elliot went to Cal. He was on their rowing team of all places. So that was my best pupil that I've ever had. So he's off making money now, not doing this. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the people you hire have some kind of knowledge of tennis would be very, very helpful. Okay, but again, you're the most important person. You as the owner of the place, you have to be the go-to person. You have to know what to do in any situation. Okay, so know your product. Number 4. Okay, money and startup costs. A store like this place is only 1,000 square foot, so it's relatively small. Do you need 1,000 square feet? How much stuff will you be carrying? Right? Kind of figure that part out. Most tennis stores, you're going to be doing the following. You're going to be stringing rackets. That's probably your number one deal. You're going to be selling rackets. You're going to be selling shoes. You're going to be selling tennis balls. But those are the 4 main things you really need to kind of do, because those are the 4 main things that will pay your rent and pay you. That's how we make money, right? So do you need 1,000 square feet? You know, you have to kind of ask yourself that question. We could probably do it here for 600 to 700 square feet. We don't need that much extra space. As you see, I fill this place up just because we have the space. You know, I could put the bags high. I mean, I take pretty much every square inch of this place and put something there. So, but I'm just that way. I like it to look busy. I like products to be out. Some places don't need all that. You know, they don't need to carry all of these types of shoes or big inventory of demos or strings. I mean, know your tolerance in that. All right. So, but that equates to money. Do you want to spend that much on square footage? Right. So we are also in the high rent district, so we pay more for this place. On monthly expenses, you have to take consideration your rent, your salary, right? Those are going to be the top 2 things that you'll have to pay consistently month after month. You'll have to pay for your inventory, depending on how much you carry. And then, like, so do you want, like I said, I take it back to location. Do you want to pay high rent and be in a nice spot? Or do you want to pay low rent and be in a not so great spot, right? I mean, tennis players will seek you out anyways. But, so make sure you have enough money for your startup costs. I would say to do it adequately, maybe, depending on where you live, 100 grand, 150 grand would be adequate. If you want to do it right, maybe $200 to $250,000 would probably, you know, be the right way to do it, and keep some in the bank just for a rainy day. But yeah, that's what you would need. Now, inventory, right? Number 5, know what you're buying, know what sells, do homework. Maybe if there's competitors, maybe scope them out, right? See what they carry, right? If you're friends, maybe become friends with them, you know, if you want to. Why do they carry certain things, right? We sell a lot of wide shoes because our population here has wide feet. So we know that, right? And do you sell more polyester strings or synthetic strings? Do you sell more natural gut? What kind of balls do you sell? What kind of demographic do you have out there? Is it an older population where you need bigger, lighter rackets? Try to find those things out. I mean, you'll kind of see at the local clubs, the local tennis courts, kind of scope those out and check those out to see where they're going, right? Are they going to a local shop? Do they have a friend that strings rackets? You know, learn about that stuff. So then you can learn about the inventory a little more. Everybody is pretty much going to have to carry Wilson, Babolat, a little bit of Head, right? Penn balls, Wilson balls, grips, and strings. So learn about what will sell, right? So learn your people, learn your demographic, then you will know the inventory. Number 6, it's now time to open. You've done everything necessary to open your store. Now, a couple things that you have to keep in mind. Make sure before you open that you are a LLP, limited liability partner. I know it costs money to do that every year, but that will help your personal assets if you are ever in a lawsuit. If somebody walks in the front door and trip over themselves and sue you over that, your personal assets are protected, okay? So make sure you are an LLP if you're in the States. I don't know about other countries, but you should do that. Now that it's time to open, you are going to be learning on the fly. You think that you got it all covered? You don't. Because someone's going to ask you random questions that you probably don't know unless you study it up like me. So just tell you a quick story here. New member at the club plays with the old 6195. He's like, I've been playing with these for 20 years. I was like, yeah, I know. He's like, yeah, sure you do. All right. And he goes, so what should I really be playing with? I was like, since they don't make those anymore, you should play with the new Pro Staff 11 ouncer. All right. He goes, why do you say that? I was like, because yours weighs 11.7 without strings. These new ones weigh a little less. We don't want to go into the Fed version because that weighs 12. And you're older now, so you should really play with the 11 ouncer. They'll probably feel as close as we can to what you got. What does he say? He's like, how do you know that? I was like, because I've been doing this for 31 years and you know, I've been studying it, right? And then he goes, wow, that's pretty impressive. Like, do you read up on this stuff or what do you do? And I was like, well, let's put it this way. When you were studying in school, you know, and your goal was to make your $300,000 salary, which he does, I'm sure. I said, well, I was reading a tennis magazine. So you learned your thing, you know, I learned mine, right? So I know like almost every racket that was in heavy production for the past 30 years. I just know it. So my tip to you, make sure you know your stuff. Study it, read it, learn, right? Like every racket has a number. Every racket has a weight, a balance. So learn what you can learn. you're going to be learning a lot of this on the fly. So, you know, learn wisely, choose wisely, and have fun with it. All right? Good luck with your business. I wish you success in your business. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.